All right, folks, what you are about to watch is extraordinarily disturbing. This is not one of these things that's disturbing because it's of a graphic nature. It's disturbing because when you watch it, you're going to wonder what country you're actually in. These videos that I'm going to show you involve the Federal Bureau of Investigation. And I'm telling you right now, if you need evidence that the President of the United States, Joe Biden, is a dictator, you can stop right here. You'll find it right in this spot. Him and his regime are nothing but absolutely pure evil. So listen to this really quickly. 3 individuals who claim to be FBI agents, and there is no reason for us to believe that they're not, right? They claim to be FBI agents, visit this woman in Oklahoma. Now, if there are any examples of the Department of Justice becoming Joe Biden's personal police force, for all of his political opponents, look no further. You're going to find it right here, okay? What they do is they approach this woman and they ask her about memes, yes, memes that she posted on Facebook that were anti-Joe Biden. By the way, we have already seen people go to federal prison over posting such memes, okay? You have to ask yourself, what world are we in right now in the United States of America where this type of thing happens? By the way, I'm going to provide an answer for you. I'm actually going to show you the biblical reasoning for why all of this is happening in just 1 second. But before we do, let me show you this video. And I can tell you this, it's disturbing. And by the way, I'm going to show you another one that also is very much the same type of thing. And the story on that one is going to disturb you even more than the story that you're about to watch right now. And I'm going to just let this play. I'm going to let this video play for all 3.5 minutes or just a little bit longer than that. I may stop it once or twice, but the reality of it is I'm probably not even going to do that because you need to see this in its context and in its entirety because it is absolutely reprehensible and it is disturbing. I also want to make this one statement. I am not anti the men and women of law enforcement. As a matter of fact, I support them more than most. And I can also say this. Many of the men and women in the FBI are really wonderful people that have a ton of integrity. But what you are watching right now is absolutely crazy. You are watching the henchmen of a dictator in it's just bad. Watch this. By the way, what is this woman getting busted over? What are they trying to talk to her over? They're trying to talk to her over memes that she made. Memes, folks. Her free speech. Watch this.
Can we just move in front of the house so the dogs don't go crazy?
Sure we can, yeah.
I need you to identify yourself and let me take imagery of your IDs.
I'm not going to share my credentials on the phone.
I'm not going to show you my credentials on the phone. By the way, you understand that that's completely illegal, right? Like when a law enforcement officer seeks to question anybody, doesn't matter if they're federal or local, they are required to identify themselves if you ask for identification. Especially, by the way, let me make myself clear, especially when they're in plain clothes. There's no clothes or badge or anything identifying them as law enforcement officer. This woman is on very solid grounds asking for identification. When they claim that they already identified themselves, what does that mean? When they walked up to the door and threw up a set of credentials through a peephole? That doesn't make sense, right? So the idea that they're refusing to identify themselves already as it is a reflection of bad training, or maybe they're aware of that what they're doing is absolutely wrong and they don't want to be, identified on national media over it because they have to know that this type of thing was going to hit national media. Okay? But it's ridiculous. They have an obligation to do this. And by the way, I can't even tell if they're bothered by this. They themselves as officers man, what are we doing here? Or if they actually believe the propaganda that they're continuing with. I still get it.
So you said you were with the FBI?
That's correct.
And why won't you show me your credentials?
We did. I showed you my
I didn't take a look at them. I said, 1 second, I'll be right back. Are you going to show me your credentials or no?
Yeah, we did already. So, and we identified ourselves. So what we'd like to do
I
is
didn't
just
look
have a
at your credentials. Again,
Well,
I didn't verify them. I told you to wait, and I went inside.
Okay, that's correct. What we'd like to do is just have a conversation with you about some social media posts that you've made. Would you be willing to talk to us today about that?
No, I would not. I would like you to later talk on with my lawyer.
Correct answer. Good answer. And by the way, we just want to talk to you about some social media posts. Where are we? Like, what country are we in? Seriously? And by the way, I mean, I think these guys are pretty professional, right? But it's still an eerie video. Super eerie video. It really bothers me.
Okay.
Do you have
Do you
identification?
have a card or something
Cards?
from your attorney that we could reach out
No.
to?
No. I'll get back to you.
Okay. All right.
Do you mind having your attorney contact the FBI office in Oklahoma City?
What's the number? What are the names of the agents?
I'll Google it for you.
Why does he have to Google the number to his own office? Does that like not strike you as weird? And the fact that they won't even name themselves, like, there's no doubt that this is probably the Bureau, okay? But come on, guys. Like, what are you doing here? You won't even you're asking to have a conversation with this lady and you won't even give us your names. Like, you guys see the problem with this? You understand why this is just absolutely crazy?
So you're refusing to identify yourselves.
No, we've already identified ourselves.
Again, I did not take a look.
Okay, so the phone number for the FBI in Oklahoma City is 405-290-7770.
Okay.
If you just call and give me your name, then we'll be able to get your contact with us and we'll be happy to speak.
And tell him that Facebook flagged me for posts.
Facebook gave us a couple screenshots of your accounts.
Okay. So we no longer live in a free country and we can't say what we want?
No, we totally do. That's why we're not here.
By the way, this is a real interesting question. Since when does Facebook actually send screenshots of a person's account to the Bureau? Like, think about this, guys. Like, we have federal agents right now on video admitting that Facebook has sent them information from a person's account. So let me get this straight. If Zuckerberg can't give hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions to Joe Biden anymore, then maybe he'll give accounts to people that don't like Joe Biden. To the Bureau, folks. Like, what are we in? Nazi Germany? I mean, forgive me if you're saying this. What the heck? Like, what in the world is this all about?
Arrest or anything like that.
Well, you can't arrest me for freedom of speech. We live in America.
Correct.
Exactly. So it's kind of weird that you want to come talk to me about me exercising my freedom of speech.
We do this every day, all day long, talk to people.
Okay.
Really, it's just an effort to keep everybody safe, make sure that nobody has any ill will or bad intent or anything like that. And we've got no reason to believe necessarily that that's you, and that's why we just wanted to have a conversation.
So do you?
But that's amazing. Like, did you hear this federal agent say, we do this all day, every day, talking to people from social media stuff just to make sure there is no ill will? Since when does the law allow them to do that kind of stuff? I mean, I get it if there are people that are out there saying we should do this to the president or do that to the president. Right. I have no ill will against the president of the United States. May God bless that man with an extraordinarily long life. I really do pray that. I pray that he lives a long time, because when something happens to him, God forbid, and may it never happen, but when something happens to him and he meets his maker, that's not going to be good for him, because the rest of his life is not going, the rest of eternity is not going to be well for that man. Okay? And I'm not God. But that's the reason why I want him to live a long time on this earth. I think he needs to live a very long time on this earth, because when he leaves this earth, God forbid, I can't imagine what it's going to be like in eternity for him when he faces judgment, right? But you just think about this. If you speak against the president, then this is what happens. And these guys are saying it. We're here every day, all day. And folks, I'm going to tell you this. Tomorrow, I'm doing a story in Minneapolis where the chief of police basically says, tough luck, you're on your own. We don't have enough resources to investigate property crimes. Yet we've got federal resources to investigate people who express their free speech. Folks, we have a major, major problem here. We have a major problem.
You have a conversation with everybody on the neighborhood?
Do you have have information that anybody else in the neighborhood is?
I mean, all I've done is exercise my right as an American citizen on a public social media platform with my personal opinions. Correct? Okay. Most of the individuals, right, in America, especially older generation, right, have Facebook. Are you questioning all the citizens in America?
We certainly would if we had any sort of concerns.
Okay.
We certainly would if we had any concerns. I got a question for this agent. What the heck does that look like? Do you know how unbelievably subjective that is? Do you have concerns or a crime has been broken or a law has been broken? Is there suspicion of a crime? Because then maybe it would warrant you further investigating something. But when you hear somebody say, I don't like the president or the president this or the president that, you all of a sudden are going to go and check them out. Why? To intimidate them? Make sure everybody is safe? Safe from what?
Do you have concerns about my personal opinions?
If you don't want to talk to us, then you can
I'm definitely not going to have a talk with you.
Well, thank you for your time this morning, and feel free to reach out to us.
Okay, there's so-called FBI.
I mean, this is crazy.
This is Rola Abdeljawad in Stillwater, Oklahoma. This is America.
I mean, look, I don't know about you, but watching that video is extraordinarily disturbing. It's actually kind of creepy if you think about it. Like, you watch that video and the content of that video just is creepy. Because what country are we in here, right? And by the way, if you think that was bad, wait till you watch these 2 minutes. These 2 minutes are also equally disturbing, if not more disturbing. And let me tell you why these minutes are disturbing. This is disturbing because, yes, in this case, the FBI shows up. And when they show up in this case, you need to understand something. What they are doing in talking to these people, right? This is FBI agents Ashley Roberts and Kathleen Brown. That's how they have identified themselves. Probably very professional people. But watch this, okay? They go to the childhood home of a pro-life activist whose name is Elise Ketch. She's clearly advocating for the lives of unborn babies. She's against abortion. And the Ring camera footage picks this up. Again, same thing in common. You got FBI agents that are behaving professionally. There's nothing unprofessional about what they're doing, right? They're in other words, they're not talking disrespectfully. I honestly think that they're doing their job. It's hard for me to even tell whether or not they actually believe in what they're doing. It's kind of difficult. I don't know. But look at this. This is so disturbing. Watch this.
Hi, we're looking for Elise.
I'm sorry, she's not here. Can I ask what this is in regards to?
Yeah, sure. My name's Ashley Roberts, and this is Kathleen Brown. We're both with the FBI.
Okay.
We just need to speak with her regarding some information that was sent in to us.
Okay. Well, she doesn't live here.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, she's my daughter, but this isn't her residence currently.
Okay. Do you mind giving us her residence or her phone number by chance?
Yeah, hold on just a second.
Sure. She's not in any trouble. We just have information that we need to ask her about.
Okay.
This is the home she was raised in. She doesn't live here. Well, do you mind turning your daughter in for us? Your pro-life daughter who's defending the lives of babies. Do you mind? We would just like to talk to her. What country are we in, folks? Like what? Where? I just. This doesn't even make sense. Like, what country are we in? And these agents, they're professional agents. Of course they are. But come on, really?
Here. Do you mind if I take a picture of your badges?
Unfortunately, we're not allowed to have anyone take our pictures.
Can I see it again, please?
Sure.
By the way, I'd really be interested in knowing this. Since when are they not allowed to allow anybody to take a picture of their badges? Is it like I don't know. Anyway, that might be a policy. I don't know. I'll be talking out of my rear if I say it is or isn't. I have no idea. But at least they're showing their identification. They might not be aware that they're on camera right now. They probably have no awareness of the fact that they're on camera. But at least they're showing their identification. At least they're showing their credentials.
I don't know how to tell if you guys are fakes or not.
Yeah. Well, you can always call our office too, and they can verify our employment because it is weird. Not every day you get a knock on the door from the FBI.
No, and I'm like in a meeting upstairs, so I wasn't trying to not answer. Well, yeah, I was trying not to answer the door.
Yeah. No worries,
And I'm like, oh my gosh, whoever's at the door is being like uber persistent. Give me a minute.
Sorry.
So no, that's okay.
We can leave you our office number if you'd like to call.
Yeah, let me do that. That sounds good.
Oops, sorry. I'll write off another one.
Sure.
I'm just blown away at what I'm seeing. I mean, again, these girls are like the
meeting.
No, you're good. So can you tell me what you said it's in regards to?
And we would tell you all the information because, like I said, she's not in any trouble. But just out of respect,
I don't know if
for her,
that just
we'd
blipped or not, but we'll restart it. You know, these girls are actually pretty professional. These ladies are pretty professional ladies, just like the previous agents were. But the reason why they're there is eerie. She's a pro-life activist. That's why they're there.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt your meeting.
No, you're good. So can you tell me what you said it's in regards to?
And we would tell you all the information because, like I said, she's not in any trouble. But just out of respect for her, we'd like to speak with her first, and then
Okay.
if she feels like talking to you, which I'm sure she will, because it's nothing.
It's funny, out of respect for her, they're going to do that, but they don't respect her First Amendment rights. I mean, it's mind-boggling to me, folks. It's just unbelievable.
You know, then yeah.
All right. All complicated.
Hang up.
All right.
Sorry.
So yeah, FBI Washington. That's our number. You can call. That's our
And what's your name?
Kathleen Brown and Ashley Roberts.
I mean, I appreciate the fact they're identifying themselves. I mean, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, right? But just tell me how absolutely disturbing this is. And by the way, there's another Ring camera where the mom calls her daughter and the daughter says, "Mom, do not talk to them," right? I mean, this kind of stuff, you guys, is extraordinary. And I got to tell you this. I never thought until a couple of years ago, until the time that the current president was elected, I never thought that we would ever see anything like this in this country, but we're seeing things in this country. Now, I promised you that I would give you an explanation for why this is the case. It's actually really simple. Look, the Bible makes this very clear, you guys. Freedom has always been God's idea. The Bible tells us, right, that the Son sets us free, right? We are free indeed. The fact that Jesus Christ died and rose again, he was buried, resurrected, and he defeated death, as we've just recently been celebrating on Resurrection Day, not Trans Day, Resurrection Day. The fact that we've been celebrating it is indicative and a reminder to us of the fact that Christ defeated sin. And here's the thing about freedom. We have received the ultimate freedom from what Christ did for us, right? He died, he rose again, we have victory, he kicked death in the rear. But here's the problem. When you do not allow yourself to experience the freedom that only God can give you, in other words, if you allow yourself to be given to the bondage of sin and death, you're not free. You're in prison. And when an ungodly nation has an insatiable appetite and an insatiable lust for evil and sin, then God says you can have what you want. And in this case, he gave us what our nation wanted. And he gave us Joe Biden. And the crazy thing about this is we shouldn't be surprised when all of our freedoms begin to go away, because the natural result of embracing wickedness is a loss of freedom. And that's what we're seeing. And this stuff that you've been watching with the FBI agents and all of the things that are going on, it's a result of this very issue. There are many things that have to happen here in order to fix this. The first and foremost, the most important thing is we need to experience only the freedom that Christ can bring to us, right? If you're not free from within, you're never going to experience freedom outside in your government, in your world, in your country. It's not going to be happening. So we have to have a spiritual awakening. The other thing we have to do is we have to speak up. We cannot allow our government to get away with behavior like this. We just simply can't. And it's a really hard thing for me because these FBI agents, probably all very hardworking people, they're professional. They didn't act unprofessionally. They were very clearly doing what was within the realm of responsibility of what they've been asked to do. But folks, we're losing our minds if we think that this is okay. We have to speak up. We have to be closer to the Lord than we ever have been before. And we have to never allow these people to get away with it. We have to use the complaint systems that we have. We have to be able to speak up. We have to use our votes. But folks, none of this is going to be right if we're not putting Christ in the very front. And that's what we have to do. It's critical, folks. There it is. We need to pray. The days are getting darker, and they're going to keep getting darker unless there's a spiritual awakening. God bless you.